I love you, John. Tonight on Dave and John TV.
It's John and Dave TV. All right, welcome to another episode of John and Dave TV. And Dave, as we're taping this, beginning of September, school's starting back up again.
Yeah.
Kids getting ready to go back to school.
Mine's already back at school.
Mine hasn't. Mine goes back next week.
Oh,
yeah.
Lucky her.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've noticed too is it's not just the, like we're now getting to the end of COVID pandemic where things were shut down. Things are starting to open now. Businesses are starting to open. Schools are opening with special rules. And I know my daughter, she's been into a lot of stuff. She's an active person. She's into gymnastics. She's into dance. She's into soccer. And one thing she has missed was her dance because she's in like 3 different dance classes. I don't know if your kids ever are into dance.
I think my daughter kind of dabbed with dancing for a little while, and then my son, you know what? We could bring him to a dance. It wouldn't hurt him.
No,
he likes dancing, and you know, TikTok nowadays, trying to recreate the TikTok videos.
There you go.
If you find my wife on TikTok, make sure to look her up and see my son and daughter dancing on their own little TikTok videos.
Well, dance school's starting to open up, I know that.
Yeah.
My daughter starts next week, and so this week we thought, why not bring that in? So we have from Starz in Motion, we have Chantal Van-Hoof. Welcome, Chantal, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So give us a little history about Chantal itself before we get into the dance you now. Give us your background. And
Sure. Born in Pembroke, raised in Laurentian Valley. So, yeah, country girl. Grew up with 3 older brothers. Yeah. Playing tackle football and fishing and hunting, and somehow I ended up into dance.
Baby of the family, yeah.
I was the only girl, so I had
That's
to,
true.
you know,
Yeah.
veer off on my own and do something that they weren't into. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So you were into dance yourself then?
Yes.
Lots of classes, or I know my niece was in like 10 at one time and comp and.
Yeah. Well, I started off just wanted to do jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I have a cousin that lives in London, and she was teaching ballroom lessons. And I remember her saying, "This is wonderful. This is going to open the door to all kinds of different dance forms." And I was like, "No, I'm happy with my jazz class." So she was right. I definitely started with jazz, and then got into ballet, and then tap, and then the rest just kind of followed because I totally fell in love.
Sweet.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So there's different style of dancing, I take it. So you started with jazz and you just kind of built from there, or is just kind of you're still like specific focusing on jazz, or you now start doing like you learned different dance style like hip hop, tango, whatever else?
Tango.
I know nothing about dancing. I'm just gonna start naming
That's
stuff
okay.
that sounds right.
I love it.
You'll know lots before I leave here today. Yeah, I got into acro, ballet, tap, jazz, musical theater, lyrical, contemporary.
Really cool.
Where my huge passions lie, where I'm certified, is jazz, tap, lyrical.
Okay.
And then the theater stuff, I ended up dabbing quite a bit into that over the years.
Definitely. I had to learn a lot of these actual names with the photography that I do with them and that, and lyrical and that, what they all were. My daughter's into acro though, because she loves gymnastics, and it's kind of a mix.
I think that's what my daughter did too. I just don't remember which dance. I'm not gonna say it. But anyways, I don't know which dance school. So you have a background in dancing and all that, and I imagine you got older because you look a bit older than a teenager now. You know.
I wonder how he's getting to there.
Yes, yes.
So then now you open a studio, right?
Yes.
Tell me about your studio.
So we are embarking on year 16.
Wow.
I'm still a teenager though.
I like that answer.
Yeah, I always loved dancing. I got a job teaching when I was quite young, and I'm forever grateful for that opportunity, just to know how much passion I had for teaching. So I loved it. I just wanted to do things differently. It's my own way. I don't know where that was instilled, but so yeah, I decided to open up my own and do things a little different and build on that, and it's been a roller coaster ride, and I loved every second of it.
Very cool, very cool. And now I know, like I've talked to a lot of the different dance schools in this area, and a lot of them seem to have gotten started almost in the same spot. They all started at one school as teachers together, and then you've all branched on to your own. Did you start somewhere else teaching first before you opened yours, or did you just get to the point you graduate, you're not really going as a student anymore, so you're like, I'm just going to open my own?
No, actually, I started at Michelle's School of Dance.
Okay.
She definitely gave me the initial passion and love for dance.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older, I started taking courses, Ottawa, Toronto.
Good for you.
Actually went to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan for my certification. So
Random place for a dance
I
certification.
know, they decided that it was, well, they said sort of central Canada with little distractions.
Okay.
That was their plan, although we still found distractions in Moose
Exactly.
Jaw. But yeah, got the certification there and
Good. Cool.
opened up the studio afterwards.
Are you in the same location you've always been? Have you moved? Or,
So the first year, I was renting all over the place. Like I was renting in different schools and Civitan Club and at the Legion and Rexplex, and so all over the place. Then I actually ended up at 1959 Petawawa Boulevard, which is where Mike and Deb's flooring place is now.
okay.
So I
know exactly
spent,
where that is, yeah.
signed the 5-year lease, did one of these, and it turned out wonderful. But we definitely outgrew it, and then bought the hardware store across the street.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we have
I
room
pass
there.
it every day going in and out of town all the time. I pass Starz every day. So.
Oh, interesting. I'm trying to picture it, you know, and like it's more towards Pembroke, right?
It's kind
Or
of
Petawawa,
Actually,
sorry.
towards Petawawa, yes.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, it's sort of
Yeah.
centered
On this side of the road going towards Petawawa.
across from a Hyundai.
There, okay,
Yeah.
I know exactly where it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every show, people talk about their locations. I'm always, you know, I don't pay attention, I guess.
Go to Google afterwards.
Yeah, I should really pay attention to the businesses in town.
That's okay. You got me.
So, it's your sole job, like, or do you do something during the day and then at night teach? Because I'm assuming the kids aren't there during the day because they're in school. I'm just kind of curious.
So during the day, I am owner of Starz in Motion. So I'm making
Running a
newsletters,
business.
I'm running a business, right?
yeah, oh,
Contacting
wow.
parents, making plans,
Yeah.
registering for competitions. Like it
Yeah.
never ends, right? Just
Yeah.
different depending on what month we're in.
I guess
Yeah.
it could be a full-time job considering what you start when school ends and you finish late at night whenever the teenagers are ready to go to bed.
I get to work at 10 in the morning and I leave about 10 at night.
Well, that's long days.
It's long
So,
days.
yeah.
And even during the summer, I guess, when you're not doing the dance, she's getting ready for the next year. She's getting ready for what costumes they're going to use, what recital stuff they're going to do, getting ready for competitions. and
Absolutely.
I'm sure you have some that come for summer dance too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always get, are you enjoying all that time off? And I just smile and I'm like, yeah, but I'm at work. But I mean, I love my job.
Yes.
So it's not like a painful thing. It's a
that's
great,
true.
it's a great experience.
They always
and-
say if you find a job that you love, you're never working a day in your life. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So roughly students-wise, how many students you have? And if somebody wanted to get involved and say, I want to go to Starz and dance, what's the process they would have to come and get in there? Do they have to know right away, this is what I want to do? Or do you kind of guide them, okay, you might be better in jazz or lyrical, or do you do like testing or?
So we have approximately 300 dancers. Yep. So like right now, if you wanted to get into dance because of office hours being wonky, COVID, needing appointments to come in, we definitely, the best way would be to send an email. And then I ask, you know, has your child danced before? How old is your child? And then I start doing recommendations or guiding them and explaining different styles of dance, and we take it from there.
300 dancers, wow.
That's a lot of
That is
dancers.
a lot of dancers. So you basically live there.
Yeah.
So competitions, lots of competitions through the year. How many of those 300 actually are in competition dance, and how many are just there for recreation, just to go once a week and learn? And
So last year we had 50 competitive dancers.
okay,
And then some of the recreational groups did go to competition as a recreational group, so they could still experience that and see what that's all about. And yeah, we planned on doing 4 competitions this spring, plus Kiwanis Music Festival, and we got Kiwanis done, and then the world stopped.
yes. Which brings us to
So let's say my son wants to go to dancing, because I'm going to go back on the question John asked before, just because he asked a lot in one chunk, and just I know nothing about dancing, and let's say I want to bring my son in for dancing tomorrow and start learning dancing, you know, I think, oh, jazz could be cool for him, but he shows up at jazz and it's really something he can't pick up or he doesn't enjoy.
2 left feet.
You know, yeah, is there like, do like in the first few weeks kind of identify strengths and weaknesses in kids and say, oh, maybe you should go in ballet instead of jazz? Probably not, but.
I don't normally steer them in a different way once they've committed.
Okay.
Because we discuss it about what it is. YouTube is an amazing
Phenomenal,
tool, right?
yeah.
They can see the differences.
Definitely.
And it truly, like, even if somebody is not coordinated, it takes more than a couple weeks to really learn. And our staff is amazing. We can make this happen.
Exactly.
So what are the different styles? So like, or in how do they differentiate from one to the other?
So, well, tap dance, obviously you make the music with your shoes.
Yeah.
Jazz, like ballet, you would do bar work, traveling steps. Everybody seems to have an idea what ballet is,
Yes.
but take jazz, you still do bar work, you still do traveling steps, you still do combinations. However, it's like a more modern, think of Rockettes.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, we don't have YouTube to throw up
No,
here.
exactly.
Then acro, obviously, it's a mixture of dance and gymnastics. Lyrical is a cross between ballet and jazz, and you're dancing, depicting the lyrics for the music.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so like,
Then you get into hip hop, which is like street dance almost, I
Exactly.
guess.
TikTok dance. You teach TikTok dancing
I
yet?
do not. However, I have jumped in on a few kids' TikTok videos without having a clue what I'm doing, and just like,
I always had to try and differentiate between contemporary and lyrical, I found, because I photograph a lot of dancers, and a lot of them are wearing the same kind of dresses sometimes, and I find the lyrical's more of a form, like a free form with the nice, beautiful dresses, and
yeah, I think most people will get the two confused, and you
Yes.
even see it sometimes at competition.
yeah,
But lyrical should like have a classical style to it, and it should depict the lyrics of a song, whereas
Yeah.
contemporary, you start breaking rules, and you know, it's not necessarily about the words in the song, but the beats behind it.
yep.
So a little different.
So we're getting into, like we always talk about, COVID. March, everything shut down. I know my business was shut down. I know dance studios, school, everything just shut right down. How did it affect you when it first hit? Because I know you guys were probably planning for recitals. You probably had some competitions you were planning. You still had classes still, because you guys go to what, June or something normally. How did that hit you, and how did you work your way through it?
After the initial shock and devastation, because I think we were all at the same spot there, like, how can this be, right? We started teaching classes online. We started with videos. We made videos of all the dances and started shipping them all to every student, so they'd have their dance broken down so they could continue practicing, because we still thought May was going to happen for recital.
Yeah.
We had no idea this would.
I don't think anybody knew it was going to go that long.
Yes. So like our plan was, okay, let's get them the goods so they can practice at home. And then it was like, okay, this might be a little longer. Let's do some online classes. So we started running online classes 7 days a week.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
it was pretty cool, actually. Like, and there was a lot of parents that were like, it gave them something.
Definitely.
You know?
Because I know a lot didn't do that right away. We had a teacher on here that talked about how she did that with her students, but not a lot of teachers were doing that.
Oh, exactly.
So I think it
Yeah.
was great that you were doing that.
I think it helped them. It helped me.
Definitely.
Because, you know, I felt kind of lost for a while. And then, you know, all of a sudden it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to teach at 5 o'clock.
Exactly.
And it was like, I was excited.
Yep.
It's not the same as obviously being in person, but, you know, like we still had that. We still got to see each other. We still worked hard. We felt like that freeze moment was,
Yeah.
we were getting past that, right?
Definitely.
That's awesome. You know, because I can see, especially like in my kids, you know, the first month was okay, you know, and then the second month was okay. Then the third month, school's ending. Now they don't talk to friends anymore. They don't talk, and then they just lost purpose.
Yeah.
You know, is they would wake up in the morning, go play outside, but don't go too far and don't go see too many neighbors because you know we want to keep socially distanced, that type of stuff. And then they would come in, and then, you know, I keep talking about TikTok, but literally this is where we discovered TikTok. It gives something for us to watch and something for my daughter.
I
She's a
refuse
bit
to go on
older.
TikTok still. I will
Yeah,
not get
to
a TikTok
watch.
account. My daughter wants me all the time to do dance with her. I will not do it. So
And then, and then, you know, start kind of turning to I wouldn't say like healthy kind of resources to learn and stuff like that. And you know what? It's actually commendable what you're doing, and I find it pretty amazing how you turn to these online lessons and stuff like that.
So how did you do that? Did you do it through Zoom? Did you do it where it was just you recording it and then sending a link to everybody saying, here, you can go try this? Or did you interact with them, with the students, or?
We did it through Zoom.
Yeah.
We also sent the videos, so if they didn't feel comfortable doing it on Zoom or whatever, they'd still have videos to practice and work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of Zoom. Learned a lot of technology.
I think a lot of people did, yeah. It was a big thing. So halfway through that, you're doing your classes like that. You were still ambitious, like you said before, that hopefully you'd be able to do recitals, you'd be able to do comps. What happened when you weren't?
So when the weather started getting warm in June, like the numbers were going a little bit smaller with the Zoom, so we're like, okay, we need to switch it up a little bit. So we ended that a few, I don't know how many weeks later, we were finally able to open our doors. So of course we had all kinds of restrictions and, you know, so we started running classes. We started with really little classes. We did some outdoor classes, had a crazy schedule to make it all work. And then we sat there and thought, you know what? We can still do this recital. So I don't know when to quit, right? That's like my biggest.
That's good though.
So I literally built a stage that was over 1,000 square feet in the backyard at the studio. Yeah, it was crazy, but we needed a stage big enough so they can social distance.
Yeah.
We brought them in, we changed their dances so they kept the same steps. However, they were this far apart and they were distanced through everything. If there was any lifts, we changed it. So now there's no lifts, but now you do this. Worked with the dancers like crazy, 7 days a week for 4 weeks straight. Every minute we could, the staff was in there working and doing things outside, and we put this together. So, and then the recital was another thing, because it's like, okay, we can't just do a regular recital because there will be too many people in this yard. So we did it by blocks. It's like 10 numbers, half hour in between, so we can sanitize that stage and clean up and everything outside. And then it gives those people time to leave and the next parents to come in. So we did it blocks all day long, so we'd have like a very small crowd that could actually social distance. And then we had Sean come and record the whole thing, so if they wanted a video of the entire show to be able to watch all of it with their children, once it's all said and done, then they had that opportunity.
Very cool.
So
Did you
that's
stream
how
it
it
at
happened.
the same time or just record it?
We just recorded it.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's how that all played out.
Yeah, because you're used to, I know I see your dance studio all the time, like you're used to doing like Petawawa at the, we call it the catwalk, of course, but I know Centennial Park, you've done it on stage there, I think, for stuff. Like you're always doing events somewhere.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of, when you're used to doing that, now you're like, okay, what do I do now? Because I know with some dance studios, they didn't get to do any recitals. They didn't do like you. They don't have a space where they can put something outside like that.
Yeah.
Costumes, I mean, parents are paying out for costumes. I'm sure you're getting people saying, well, what do I do with my costume now? I just paid this money. But not that it's your guys' fault.
No, but...
And I hope a lot of them didn't take it on. I know with my daughter's dance school, it is what it is. You can't control that. It is.
For sure.
But there's costumes, there's costs. Well, I paid up all the way to here. Like, how do you avoid any, I don't know what the word I'm trying to look for is there. Like, are you able to use the costumes again? Are you trying to see if you can recycle them somehow, or?
So the first thing is we were really happy they actually got on stage because of all of
Because
this,
of
you
that,
know, like,
yes.
and those kids were so excited
Yep.
and then bang, over, right?
Yep.
So then it gave them all of a sudden, it's not over, you know, we actually get to do this.
Yes.
Some of the kids outgrew their costumes because
Yeah.
the plan is May, right?
Yeah,
And then all of a
exactly.
sudden this is August. But you know what? We threw them on stage anyway.
Good
We're
for
like,
you. Good.
just wear dance clothes and good to go. Like
Yeah.
it's about them. It's not about anything else, right?
Yes.
So the younger kids, it's really hard to recycle those costumes
Yeah.
because they grow. The teenagers, though, we were looking at the costumes that were used and ordered, and we're like, okay, there's probably ways we can do this.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to actually today a costume company,
Okay.
and they were like, you know what, we're going to bring back a lot of the costumes
Oh, good.
from the previous year. We're not changing our whole
Yes.
collection. So if you have added kids to the
Yeah.
group, we might be able to help you out there, and you can use those costumes for another year.
The only reason I ask is I know with some when you guys are putting together a show, a lot of times your costumes are based on what the dance moves are in the show, or you base it around. It's like putting on a play almost, and everything's based around that. And I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that you wish you could have done that now you might not be able to do as before.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we can.
exactly.
I mean, now we have to be a lot more creative, right? Because we got to
Very sure.
find something that works with that costume.
Yes.
And then we have to choreograph the whole thing where nobody's near each other.
Yeah.
So it's, like, I'm not saying this is not
No.
going to be a massive
Everybody's
challenge.
a solo artist now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a really wicked challenge for choreography this year. But I mean, we got through those online classes and it turned out good. We got through the recitals, so I'm like, we can do this.
Definitely.
It's going to be a learning experience for
Oh,
all
yeah,
of us,
for everybody.
but yeah.
So now we're in phase 3, and as we heard, you adjusted, you kind of make changes in your studio and all that. Like, so what are the changes that you will see going into the studio kind of really quickly? Kind of give us like a 2-minute lowdown.
How you're
of
coming out of the
exactly
COVID.
how you're coming out of COVID.
When I built when I bought the building,
Yeah.
and I transformed it into a studios, like we have 5 studios that run. They made me put like 1 million emergency exits, and I was like, ugh, but whatever, right? I understand the importance of it. Now I am so grateful because what we've done is we start, say, Studio A will start at 5 o'clock, Studio B 10 after 5, Studio C 20 after 5. So they're staggered.
Yep.
And then we're using all back entrances. So when you drop off your child at that entrance, they walk only into Studio A. They only see the kids from Studio A. There's no hallway unless they have to go to the washroom, but there should be nobody in the hallway.
Yep.
We have a new waiting room just to accommodate like the little kids, their parents. I purchased this, I like to call it my Ghostbuster pack.
Sweet.
So you spray, like it sprays 10 meters.
Okay.
And
cool.
like Health Canada says that it will kill any germs that could potentially be in the air, on the walls, on the floor, anything
Is it
within
more of a
5
steam
minutes.
or is it a spray or?
It's like a solution that you mix with the water.
Okay.
And it sprays out, but they're saying within 5 minutes, anything that potentially could be there
Is gone.
Gone.
Sweet.
So we've done 10-minute intervals between every class,
Yep.
so we can spray, pass the machine on to the next class, like the next studio, because we all start at different times, and
Definitely.
that will work also.
Good for you.
We have a whole grid system on the floor to help them distance. So I had to purchase a lot more dance bars because no sharing. The
Yeah.
mats for acro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, one thing we never did tackle on is I'm sure you don't do the whole thing by yourself. You've got staff there, I'm sure.
Yes.
So why don't you give maybe a shout out to some of your staff? Let us know who some of the staff is there, what they do there. I'm sure you got teachers for different classes, maybe somebody that's there to take admin or whatever, or give us a little shout out for some of your staff that's there.
So Miss Conchita runs our ballet department.
Okay.
A few years ago, I actually went to Veracruz, Mexico
Mm-hmm.
to have that was the furthest place
Everybody
I've ever
needs a
went for a
break.
job interview. So she was from there.
Yeah.
So I went there to meet
You
her.
went all the way over there to
I
conduct an
got on
interview.
a plane to get,
Wow.
I wanted to get a feel of who she was because she applied for the job when
Yeah.
my other ballet teacher retired.
Yeah.
And I mean, she seemed amazing. Everything's checking out, but until you actually sit down.
Yeah.
So I went to Mexico.
That's
I
amazing.
I like how she uses it as an excuse to go. I love that. I'm going to use that myself
Oh, yeah.
for my wife.
So you just have to hire
Yeah,
someone from.
exactly. I need a
Where do you wanna
hairdresser.
go?
And,
Yeah. So I went
she
to
runs your ballet.
Veracruz and checked out her studio, got
Yeah.
to know her, and she's running the whole ballet department.
Sweet.
Jessica McDonald is running like tap and acro. She can make kids do the craziest things in acro and has a way to, I see them struggle and then she'll just be like, oh no, your takeoff should be like this and this
Yeah.
and this. And she knows what to say to fix things, right?
Yep.
It's incredible. Kira Reynolds is, she taught for us for years. She posted, then
Yeah.
she came back, taught for us, got posted. She's back again.
Sweet. She can't get enough of you.
Yeah, she's certified in tap and jazz as well,
Sweet.
and does a lot of hip hop. And like there's like 14 of us this year.
And they're all
wow.
they all have to go get certified diplomas, things like that for certain acts, or
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few of them. Audrey is right now in her second year. It's a 3-year program to get certified, and
Oh, no way.
so yeah.
I had no idea that they had to get certified to teach dance, and that's pretty cool.
Well, they got a group of all those kids that they got to teach. You got to make sure
Yeah.
that it's the right people.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this since week 1 of this show. I guess it's not really relevant that much anymore anyways, because every business are kind of back open, but we'd like to give you an opportunity basically to give any shout out to anyone that you want to give to while you're on the air here, and then say hi to your kids or students, whatever you call them, and
then let us know how we can get a hold of you,
Yeah,
like
let us know, exactly.
websites, social media, anything like that. How can people get a hold of you if they want to become part of Starz?
Okay. First, I'd like to thank my parents for giving me the initial opportunity. Right? I wouldn't be where I
Yeah.
am today if they
Exactly.
didn't pay for those dance lessons.
That's right.
And we're great dance parents. And I'd like to thank my children for, sharing me with how many
Everyone
people?
else.
Yeah.
Everyone else for so
Exactly.
many years, right?
It's got to be hard, yeah.
Absolutely, and like my staff for helping me through all this COVID, because I could not have done
Yeah.
that, the recital,
No.
everything alone. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And they stepped up and they were amazing, and I don't even have the words.
No, I can imagine.
And your contacts?
So the best way is to email Stars in Motion with a Z.
I was going to say, with a Z.
at hotmail.com. And our website is starsinmotion.ca.
Yeah.
And,
Facebook,
Facebook, yeah.
Instagram,
Yep.
TikTok.
No.
No, the only reason I asked is because last week we had a person here from The Scoop, and it was the first group that we've had that they actually use TikTok to advertise their business. So
I'm afraid to put it on my phone and lose too much time.
I know, I'm the same way. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's awesome. I'm glad you came because you and I've talked back and forth of trying to get you on here, and our
Yeah.
schedules just couldn't link up. It's mostly because of him, but
Yeah.
yeah, and we got through a whole episode without talking about your beard.
You just
I just had to bring it
but you didn't know how to bring it in. Anyway, so
Yeah,
I just
so there it is.
we are out of time. Chantal, thanks for coming today. And for our guest, we'll see you next week for a new exciting episode of John and Dave TV.
Thank you.